and then I'll go ahead and I will post that up. Okay, if you have questions, guys, I'm not a fan of chatted in questions. That puts a burden on me to monitor chat while I'm trying to talk, while I'm trying to control the screen. So just like we would in a live class, if you have a question, just unmute your mic and say, hey, John, I have a question, and stop me as we go along. Okay, so you can see up on the screen e-learning, and I have this in student view so you can see how it'll look for you. Accounting 111 to 11. Okay, now this is the link that if you're in this discussion right now, you found this link, okay, to allow you to join the class tonight. Did you come in through this link or the one that I emailed?
The top link there.
That link, yeah.
Please answer my question, guys. Did you go through this link or the one that I emailed?
The top link. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. These links, this link right here. Yeah. Okay. But you didn't use the one that I sent in the announcement today?
No, if you sent it today, I didn't see it. No.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. I just want to understand how folks are finding this information. Okay. All right, good. Now you come down and you can see the syllabus here, and then you can see the various chapters. So each week, what will happen, and you can already see some recordings there. That's a little distracting because I will be posting some new recordings. So I should probably go ahead. I think what I'll do is hide these old recordings, and I'll be posting them up week to week. Sometimes the temptation in an online class is to go through, and folks seem to think that there's all kinds of benefit to just going through and blowing through all of the homework and all of the slides and stuff in 1 week or something. That is not the way to learn this material. Okay, so week at a time. So pick a day, I don't know, maybe Wednesday becomes a day you pick, in which you'll watch the lecture, you'll look at the slides. If the lecture is too long for you, you don't have 2 hours to set aside, just break that into 2 1-hour sessions or 4 half-hour sessions, whatever you need to do. Watch the lecture, see the slides. In the lecture, I will give you examples of questions that will be on your exams in this class. And I take the weightlifting approach, which is we go through the lecture. We have in the lecture examples of questions. We will have a practice midterm, and I'll show you how to access those practice midterms here in a couple of minutes. And then we will have the actual midterms. We have 2 midterms and a final. The final is not cumulative, so it's sort of like a third glorified midterm that we call the final. Okay, so week to week, okay, and I'll show you the detailed syllabus here in a second as to how we're going to move through this material week to week. Your job would be to go ahead and look at the chapter slides and then look at the lecture that goes along with that. And I think I'm going to hide these lectures to avoid confusion, just because I'm going to be posting some new lectures up. Some of these lectures are getting a little bit dated. You hear me talking about President Trump, for example, on some of these. So it's time for me to change some of these lectures. So I'll be doing that this term. Okay. Now, when you look at the syllabus, and of course you click on the syllabus, and I've already done that. So I'm going to show you the syllabus now, and you can see the class here. We're in the spring 2023 term. Okay. I'm not going to put the URL link to the class because you saw that in Canvas. Okay. And then you see the dates of the class. So we go week to week. So say first day of class was January 8th, because typically we start on Sunday. We're meeting on Wednesday because that was the day I selected for our live meetings. Last day of class is that Friday, the last week, April 22nd. Okay. You can see my information here. I am a CPA in the state of California. And I'll go ahead and show you my contact information here, which is my email, my cell phone number, which means that you can text, and also my office office hours. The office hours will be via Zoom, and I'll be providing you an office hour link. I guess I better get that up here by tomorrow, so that you can see what my office hours are, which will be tomorrow from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Okay, it's via Zoom. You'll see me sitting in the same office here at my home, and you'll be able to, have any questions that you need to ask at that point. Let me jump down to my bio a little bit, just so that there's some consistency between what I'm talking about and what's on the screen. Okay, so just a little bit about my background, and I just go in chronological order because it's just a little easier for me to remember things as by going that direction. So I graduated from Cal State, what was then Hayward, is now East Bay, in 1980. What year was it? 1986, 1987, something like that. I forget now. And graduated with my degree in business administration, concentration in accounting, and went immediately to work for the Government Accountability Office. GAO is the auditing investigative arm of Congress. And I spent about 26 years there, a little over 26 years, doing first financial statement audit. So I passed the CPA exam while I was still in college. And then I went to work for the GAO, and by working on financial statement audit for several years, I got the experience for my license. So I am a certified public accountant in the state of California. And I'm going to talk, if you want to stay around for that after we're done, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the CPA process, because I know sometimes if folks are taking an auditing class, they may be interested in obtaining their license at some point in time. So I got my experience through the GAO about 1995 or so. I started teaching for Becker Professional Education. Becker is the biggest CPA review course in the world. And what Becker does is prepare people to take and pass the CPA exam. So I've been doing that in different capacities since 1995. Around 2000, Golden Gate approached me and asked me if I would be interested in teaching governmental accounting at Golden Gate. So I started doing that around 2000. And so I was teaching Becker and Golden Gate while working for the GAO from 2000 to about 2009 or so. And then Becker once again tapped me to develop and be the national instructor for their continuing professional education for government. After you get your license, you have to maintain your license by getting no less than 80 hours every 2 years of continuing professional education. And if you're involved in government audit, 24 of those units have to be have those hours. They're not units. It's not like a semester unit. It's hours, literal seat time. It's 50 minutes. It's 1 hour for every 50 minutes that you sit in the seat in a CPE class. And so 24 of the 80 CPE every 2 years have to be related to government. So Becker wanted to offer that product and asked me to help develop that and teach those. So I'm still involved in that somewhat. If you were to actually purchase one of those CPE classes, I might be the talking head on the video, although I'm doing less of that. So around that time, I stopped teaching at Golden Gate as much because I was very much involved in developing those CPE classes. And of course, I was still working for the federal government at that point. In 2014, I was approached by San Francisco State and asked if I would like to teach governmental accounting once again there. I accepted that offer, and then I was pretty quickly asked if I would also like to teach financial, managerial accounting. And I kept saying yes until I realized that I had sort of overextended myself, and I was thinking I was going to have to call the university back and tell them, well, maybe I can't do all that. And then the devil on the other shoulder said, well, you could retire from the government and pursue teaching full time. So I went ahead and made that decision, and soon thereafter started also teaching at community college in Fremont called Ohlone College. And then I started teaching at San Jose State. And then I started teaching at UC Berkeley, and then I started teaching where I still teach at Stanford. Around 2017, 2018, Golden Gate approached me again and asked if I would be interested in becoming the director of their CPA Applied program, which I'll talk a little bit more about that either tonight or on the video if you choose to watch the video. And I've been doing that and running that program here since about 2017, 2018, something like that. With I think with COVID, we tend to have forgotten, the years have sort of blended together a little bit. So, and then last September, I decided to retire from the state. So I no longer teach at San Francisco, San Jose State, UC Berkeley. I do still teach at Golden Gate, obviously, and Stanford. At Stanford, I teach the Introductory to Financial Accounting to Non-Accounting Majors. So I teach one class for the Management Science and Engineering class, another class for the School of Medicine. And then I just started this quarter at De Anza College, which is in Cupertino. And I'm teaching this same class, this auditing class, and I'm teaching an Introductory to Financial class there. So that's my background. That pretty much brings you up to date. So I think maybe I offer some things that are useful to you because I not only have years of teaching experience, I also have years of practical experience and in the area of auditing. So I will be bringing in some experiences that I've had as we go through and learn some of the concepts in this class. Okay, now this class is, okay, coming back up to the course objective here. Okay, this class really is about financial statement audit. Okay, we will spend a little bit of time sometimes talking about engagements that go outside of a pure positive assurance financial statement audit. But with the limited time that we have available, we're pretty much going to be dedicated to audits of financial statements, which include a significant part, which is the understanding of the internal control of the entity and how we gather evidence that then will be in support of the opinion on financial statements that are the responsibility of management. So that's really what our objective is here. I'm putting course material, and I'm going to go ahead and put the URL in here for the course material. We use a McGraw-Hill textbook, so you're going to want to acquire you could use either the online or you may want to acquire a loose leaf textbook. I really suggest that you get the online textbook because I don't see that it's a textbook that you're going to really be reading line for line. Most of your understanding, to be honest with you, is going to come through the lectures and the slides. So I say that the textbook is optional, but having said that, when I really think through that, you probably should go ahead and at least acquire the Connect access to this class. And I'll give you a URL. You will click on that URL, and by clicking on that URL, what it is going to do is take you, and I probably should open this before class, but it's okay. It'll take you to the Connect material that I have set up for this class. Okay, so when you click on that URL that I'll find, they'll ask you to provide your email, and they'll say, do you want to take advantage of the 2-week trial period? Your answer should be yes. I suggest you do that. And then you can come in and you can see the different homework assignments that I have here per chapter. And probably the most useful thing in here is going to be these practice midterms that you have here. Okay, and so these practice midterms, guys, are very, very similar to what our midterms and then our third final, which is our third midterm, which we're calling a final. It's very, very similar to how this will actually look on your exam. So I'm suggesting that you go ahead and you acquire this, although it is optional. I'm not going to be awarding points for homework. I'm not going to be checking to see if you do homework. But I do think, particularly these practice midterms, it will be helpful for you. But take advantage of the 2-week trial period. See if you think the information is useful for you. And if it is, then you may want to go ahead and definitely acquire that. I'll leave that as a decision. You're capable of making your own decision as to whether or not you want to actually acquire that. Okay, but I'm not going to be checking to see if you did homework and whatnot. Okay, so you can see the different chapters here. I think for chapter 17, it looks like I accidentally called it a quiz. It's homework. Okay, all of these are homework questions that give you a further understanding. We will have some questions embedded in the lectures that I'll be sharing with you during the lectures. But for the most part, it's going to be, you'll see these here. And then again, if you get this, you'll be able to look at these practice midterms here. Okay, so I will provide you that URL. I'll just paste it right there and I'll repost the syllabus with that new information regarding the course URL. Any question so far?
I have one, Professor. There was no, the textbook's not available through the bookstore, loose leaf or otherwise. Is that typical?
I don't know. I don't run the bookstore.
No.
I don't know what's typical.
Okay.
But what you can do is when you follow that URL, you can, I think they charge you like, I don't know, like 60, 70 bucks, something like that for the loose leaf. So you can order it at that time. So you can either order it just with the ebook and the McGraw-Hill Connect without the loose leaf, or you can order it with the loose leaf, and they may even offer you a hard copy version of the book. I hate them loose leaf books. After 2 days, I can't find a single page from that thing. But they always send me the loose leaf whenever they know I'm teaching the class. McGraw-Hill or whoever the publisher is immediately sends me one of them stupid loose leaf books. And you can see the bookshelf behind me where those go. They rarely come off of that. So sometimes I'm able to request a hard copy, but I don't know, Michael, that there's a whole heck of a lot of benefit to reading about auditing.
Okay.
Auditing is something that you got to feel, okay, that you kind of really got to picture yourself doing some of the things that we're going to talk about. And that's the reason that I will be posting lectures where I will be illustrating and giving examples of the things that you see on the slide. So again, you've got that 2-week trial period. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of the 2-week trial period, see how you feel about the Connect material, and I wouldn't trip too much on getting that book.
All right, I'll take your professional opinion on that. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. And then later, if you're going along, you're like, dude, I need something to read, then the book is there. You may even be able to get this book on Amazon for, a nice price or something. Maybe even get a bound copy. Okay. Okay, good. I'll put that course URL up there, guys. Look for it, sometime tomorrow. I'll just paste it right there in the syllabus so that you can take a look and start to get comfortable with that material that I showed you a minute ago. Okay, again, I don't know about the bookstore these days, guys. I mean, most things, bookstores, government agencies, everything to me is I call and it's, you have reached so-and-so. If you have a question, please leave your message and we'll get back to you. I mean, everything is just, it seems like a server somewhere, so, but do the best you can with that. You do have tutoring resources. I don't recommend it for this class. I don't see how anyone could help you with tutoring here. If you need these other resources and whatnot, please, reach out. Best way to reach me is email or phone. I don't know. They make me choose one. I think the reason I put phone here is because I feel like sometimes students are afraid to call the instructor to have a conversation. Meanwhile, you know, if they had invented voice phone after text messages, everybody be going crazy calling each other on the voice phone, because like you can talk to the person, you can have a conversation, you know. So I know that text is good sometimes, or email is good for a quick 1-2 type of a conversation. But if you're saying to me, can you please explain the concept of audit risk? That's not an email. That's not a text. That is a conversation. Of course, I'll be posting lectures up for that. Okay. Okay, good. Coming over, and I'll let you read some of these things on your own. Okay. But let's take a look at the point distribution here. The 3 exams will be the majority of your points here. They're worth 100 points each. The exams are 20 multiple choice questions. They have 4 points each for a total of 80. And then I'll have 1 objective format type question, which will be worth 20 points to bring you up to the 100. Okay, and I'll show you the chapter specific for these exams here in a couple seconds. The other thing that we will have are guest speaker write-ups. Okay, so for the guest speaker, we're probably going to have a partner from PricewaterhouseCoopers. His name is Danny Wallace. We'll have a recording of him presenting probably to my Stanford class, since that's a live class. He'll come and speak to them on campus over there, but I'll record that and I will post that up on e-learning for you to watch, and I'll post up his slides. And I'll have a rubric of specific questions that I want you to answer. You're gonna have to fill out 3 pages answering questions. And what Danny has done with his career, he's now retired from PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, but he spent his career some 40 years taking companies public. So I think it's nice to get a different spin on some of the things that we're talking about, as to how it would be helpful to a company that's trying to go from the private company to being a company that is listed publicly. So he has some really good thoughts on, you know, internal controls and whatnot as it relates to that. So we'll have Danny come, and I'll be giving you the specific date on that. Okay. These are the dates. Today is January 11th, so I'm not sure where, or if there are more people in this class. I'm seeing 4 students, so maybe that's everybody. But if there are others that you're aware of that wanted to take this class, they should have been here. Okay, so I'll be reaching out to those folks, but those are the 3 dates. Okay, we had been doing 2 dates, and now they've requested that we do 3 dates. I don't know how popular that is with students, but there are some requirements for certain benefits, such as those associated with the Veterans Administration. And so if you need to attend an on-campus class, please make note of that. I think campus was closed this week, wasn't it? Because the horrific weather we're getting, flash flood warnings and all that. So if you need to attend a class on campus, that'll be room 4208. So what you'll do is you'll show up there and they'll light up the classroom. I may not be there. I may still be at my house, or I may be there, but they'll light up the classroom and you'll be able to see me on screen in the classroom, and we'll be able to see you potentially sitting by yourself in that classroom. But this is a requirement of the federal agency, the Veterans Administration. So we just need to roll with what they want us to do there. Question on that? Okay, discussion points. I put those there. I don't post weekly discussions, guys, because I'm going to be putting up lectures. And if you have questions about those lectures, you can always come and talk to me in the office hour, or send me an email, or call me or something. So I don't put up discussion. So the discussion points are pretty much awarded to make sure that you attend these 3 live sessions. So at the end of the evening tonight, I'm going to take a screenshot of who is here. And then I will go ahead and give you guys 5 of the 15 points. It's going to be 5 points for each meeting. And I'll probably do that towards the end of the term. So don't worry if you don't see those tonight. I will be giving you those points. Okay. So you can see, and the guest speaker write-up will come a little bit later in the term. And I'll probably make that due the last week of class. It'll probably be due, you know, what's that last day class? April. What's the last day class?
22nd,
April 22nd, is that what it was?
I believe so.
Okay. So I'll make the assignment due April 22nd, even though he'll obviously have to have been here before then, and I'll have to give you enough time to, sufficient time to look at it. But he'll be here well before the end of that date. His recording will show up well before the end of that date. You'll have plenty of time to put together 3-page paper, rubric questions that you have to respond to. Double spaced is fine. It shouldn't be a terrible challenge for you. And I think you'll find his conversation pretty interesting. Question. Okay, very important here, guys. When you look at your grades, most of my students live up here. Okay, if you watch the lectures, look at the slides, look at the practice questions that I'm giving you, there is no reason that you should not do very, very well on the exams and live up in here. Okay, I'm putting that as a motivation, not as a pressure thing. I don't see that folks really need to fall much below that. Okay, but you can see we can go down as low as you go. Okay. Course, okay, the red dates are dates that you are to attend live, and as you are today, and then the midterm. So first midterm is February 12th. Now hear me on this, guys. Hear me on this one. If you haven't paid attention to anything else I've said so far, stop whatever you're doing and listen. Okay. The big problem I have is students forget to take the test. And I've got no patience for that. None. I've got no patience for forgetting to take the exam. You are responsible to know what these exam dates are. Okay. So I say week 6, February 12th. Okay. Well, that's a Sunday. And the exam will open at 12 a.m. when it's dark outside. Okay, we'll open at 12 a.m. when vampires are just coming out of their coffins and stuff. It'll open at 12 a.m. on Sunday, and it will remain open until 11:59 on Saturday, the 18th, 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, the 18th of February. So that means, and I'm just checking my dates to make sure I'm not saying something that isn't correct. Yeah, that's a Saturday, the 18th. And it will stay open until 11:59 p.m. That's almost midnight, right? So it is open a full 24 hours. I mean, a full week, I should say, not 24 hours, a full week. It opens on that Sunday, the 6th at 12 a.m. and it closes at 11:59 p.m. on that Saturday, in this case, the 18th. So you have a full week to pick a 3-hour window. The exam, once you start it, you only have 3 hours to complete it. So you'll have a 3-hour window within that week that you'll pick. I don't know, maybe your favorite day to think about auditing is Wednesdays. Okay, so on Wednesday of that week, what day would that be? That would be, say, the 15th. Okay, or maybe you're so in love with auditing that you choose Valentine's Day, the 14th, okay, to take your exam. Whatever, you pick the date within that week as to when you will take your, set aside 3 hours to go through and work 20 multiple choice questions and work the objective format question, the one that will be worth 20 points. Okay, it's probably going to be matching or something like that. 3 hours to work through that. That's plenty of time to work through that. The exam will be given right here in e-learning. So when you look in e-learning, and I'm not sure if you can see that yet, let's look. If I put it where you can see it yet. Yeah, you can't see it yet because I've hidden it from you at this point in time. But under here, under exams and assignments, okay, you will see the exam under that particular module. I don't have it there yet because I think I've hidden it at this point in time, but under exams and assignments, oh wait, is it there yet? No, it's not. It's there, but I've hidden it from you at this point. Okay. But under here where it says exams and assignments, see that right there? That is where you will find your exam. Okay. You will take it online. You don't need to go through ProctorU or any of that nonsense. You will take it online. You will do your own work. You can use any of the material that I have provided you for this class. Okay, so that's the chapter slides, that's the lectures. If you chose to acquire the McGraw-Hill material, you can use that for your exam, but you can't go to your classmates and say, hey, what's the answer to number 12, you know, and you can't go to these stupid websites called Chegg or Chug or whatever they call them, and, you know, Course Hero and, oh, here's Lord's exam and all that. If you do that, I will catch you and then you will receive a 0 because that's cheating. Question. Okay, that's the syllabus. I would print that out and put a big red bow on the dates or red highlighter or something, or circle, red circle on the dates of the exams, the weeks for the exam. The exams, guys, are not, the final exam, I should say, is not cumulative. So you can see that the chapters that we cover after the second midterm, that's what's on the final. Question. No? So you want to go or you want to hang around while I do the lecture for chapter 1? I'm going to post the recording up. So if you don't want to hang around and do it now, you know, you got something better you could be doing.
I have a one class that conflicts, and tonight is the only night that our class conflict at the same meeting time. So I do have a class at 6 that I could go to. If,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what then. Why don't we go ahead, since I'm not hearing from other folks, and adjourn. And then I'm going to go ahead and sort of sit here and talk to myself, which I often do anyway. Of course, I will remain sober. I really talk to myself after I've been drinking, but tonight I will remain sober while I talk to myself and record the lecture, and then look for that, you know, sometime tomorrow. Okay, and you'll see that lecture up there, and you can watch it on your own schedule. Okay, and that'll be the case going forward, other than those dates that I again have, you know, emphasized is required. Guys, it's not my, you know, you're saying, well, no, how come he's making us be there? It's not my decision. The university decided that, you know, this was something that they wanted done. So, you know, that they be these classes that have synchronous meetings. And so as an employee of the university, you know, I got to do what I got to do. Okay. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and record that lecture then right now, but I'm going to end this meeting so that I have a separate clean recording of just the lecture, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, guys, have a
All
good
right.
evening.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.